Good evening is the frequency in use. Nothing heard. This is my name is Paul, K4PEW Net Control with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Didn't think so. You can call at any time for call in, just say break, or let me in, or whatever. But anytime if you have an emergency, or call 911 first, of course, and then you can talk to us while you wait for them. For information on this net, you can see us on our main Monster website, which is, now actually we'll talk about YouTube first. You can call us on YouTube or look us up on YouTube. In the search block, you can find us on K4PEW or on the word Brain Trusts, BRAINTRUSTS. Or you can look us up on our website, 146415.net, 146415.net, or on Yahoo Groups under Mike Juliet _ Sierra Sierra, which is MJ _SS in the vernacular. Or you can send me an email at k4pew@arrl.net. We normally meet every Wednesday and Saturday night at 8 p.m. We're on a lot of other times during the days and weeks, odd hours now and again on just regular Simplex work. But here for the net, we're here on those days at 8 o'clock. The purpose of the net is to, okay, I didn't hear any answers, support having fun and help everybody build their stations up, which is a natural progression. If you're interested in Simplex, you'll naturally kind of move at some point toward getting better and higher antennas and more power if you don't have it enough to begin with, because you can't do Simplex very well with just a handheld and 5 or 8 watts. At any rate, we invite everyone to use the net to announce amateur radio events and activities in support of the local community. And do I have any announcements for tonight other than I'll break here for a second. Yep, the big event is also today and tomorrow, but today's over. But tomorrow in Huntsville, there's the Huntsville Amateur Radio Club. So I did not go today, but I'm sure that somebody did, maybe. I realized they had money to spend on other things that were probably more important than the hobby. And let's see, on Tuesday we've got two nets: the Bowling Green net on 146.430 at 7:30, and then that's a Simplex net just north of Bowling Green, if you can reach that on your vertical or your beam. And then, because it's 65 miles from me, but I can reach it both ways because he's got a good elevation and I've got a good elevation. At any rate, also we've got the other net on Tuesday nights is the 8:30 the Wilson County Emergency Operations W4. I forget what it is. It's the Emergency Preparedness Net, and that starts out on the Watertown repeater, the W4 LYR repeater, and it goes on to its 70 centimeter repeater after that. But they do those announcements. So does anybody have any corrections, additions, or any other announcements? All right, I'm not even sure anybody's out there at the moment. So, but we are starting from hold on, let me make this clear here. Last time we started from the, hold on, east and from the north side too. All right, you can say I wasn't quite prepared. We are starting from the north, and this is edition number 510. So not that anybody's keeping notes here, but September, as you know, September 20-something is our 5th anniversary. Will be the 3rd week in September, again, Wednesday. Anyway, we're going to start from the north. This is K4PEW, and North Stations, North 11 Road. Please come in.
KB9RKK.
Hello, Frank.
Good evening there, Paul. Oh man, I just woke up just in time for that. I went to Huntsville this morning.
Ah, a big crowd?
It seems like it. I got there right as they were opening. We tried to time that, so it seemed like like there was a bigger crowd than normal. Traffic-wise, it was kind of first time I ran into a traffic jam there.
Oh, is that right? Right at 8 o'clock or whatever? No, was it 8? No, it was 9 when it opened, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 9. It took a little bit longer to get into parking, but then there was no line at the door because they just opened. I don't know. That was kind of neat that we could walk right in rather than waiting in line for a half hour. But yeah, it was pretty good. I'm not sure. I don't know how many. It's over 1,000 of that.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I bet you it's more like a couple thousand show up that over those 2 days.
Yeah, I talked to some of the vendors. They said the second day is pretty dead. Some of them are only there for one day. But interesting thing that I didn't buy anything other than an SO239 connector, and it's only the experiment with making homemade antennas. But the one thing interesting that I did take away from it, I seen quite a lot of booths for other handfests for other locations.
Yeah, I saw that in the table list, and I even got that notice. I don't know if I sent it out or not. I got a notice out of the blue from the St. Louis Ham Fest in winter. I'm not sure why I'd get that. But I guess they're attracting anybody they can.
Oh yeah, no, maybe they heard you all the way over there. Who knows now? Uh, but yeah, it was interesting. I never saw that many before. I mean, they're certainly not odd, but not the amount that I seen from all over the place. I saw the Florida one, which is like they try to say it's like a hamcation. I've seen that before. The Orlando, they had the Atlanta one. You name it. They, not just flyers. They actually had booths.
Yeah, no, I got you. There was also out in the lobby, as I think I pointed out to the group, there was a middle or central Alabama Simplex club that was promoting itself out in the lobby.
Oh, you know what? I didn't see that. But that's showing you the idea, which is not really a new idea, but it's like a resurgence of the simplex idea. It's starting to gain popularity.
I think so. Well, it might be gaining popularity because the HF bands aren't doing that well these days, other than the digital modes, and maybe that's partly the reason. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. So we were talking to Bob. He made a comment about the digital modes killing the HF band.
Yeah, well, I don't know that it kills it. It's just that it makes it easier than on phone, and that's the reason people gravitate to that, I guess. And digital modes is kind of cool. I did that for a while, but I found it boring after a while.
Yeah, it's exciting at first because you're like, wow, I'm making contact. I can barely hear it. I'm using 5 watts, and it is kind of neat. I won't. I won't say that it's not kind of cool, but at the same time, I like talking to people.
Well, I worked. Oh, I think it was JT65 mode. I worked 48 states in less than 30 days.
Wow. See, I haven't used that one yet. I guess it's fancy, but I guess the digital mode it was PSK. I think PSK 31 was all I really did. Because that was about 10 years ago.
Yeah, no, I understand. And again, I'm not knocking anybody who uses it. It's a nice way to fill out a, DXCC or any of the other, DX challenges. But I just didn't find it as much fun. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say. But anyway, appreciate you being there, Frank. Thanks for the initial report on the Hamfest. I kind of wish I would have went, but I couldn't, I didn't think I was going to buy anything. And if I went, I might have had a splurge and spent money I shouldn't be spending. And as it is, up and back, plus entry fee and eating lunch, you're going to drop 50 or 60 bucks anyway. And I'm not sure I wanted to do that. Anyway, appreciate you being there, Frank. Who else is north? Please come in. All right, we'll move around to the west. Anybody west of Mount Juliet, please come in.
Can for TJ.
Hey, Rick, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty fancy and dandy. I sent you something. Did I send you something in email?
Give Michael my email for you. If you did, I haven't looked at it yet, but I'll check that.
All right, no problem. I was trying to remember what I sent you, but I forgot what it was already. That's funny how you do. If you do enough of that, you forget who you send to what, where, and why, and whom. It's kind of interesting because I probably get, I don't know how many I've done. I added up how much I sent in the last, I don't know, 10 or 12 years, 10 years. And it was like it's like, I forget what it was. If you can do the math, and it was like at least 1,000 or 1,500, maybe more than that, 1,500 a year for 10 years. It's a lot of email.
Yeah, I don't know. And maybe it was a link about the Coral Sea, maybe. If you send it to my Gmail, I haven't got it yet.
Well, I know it got sent. I'll look it up. I remember what it was. Well, very good. Otherwise, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Got a wedding coming up next month. My daughter's getting married, and we're trying to get the whole front yard ready for a rehearsal. So got that out of the way in the heat of the day, and we're doing real good. Time to slow her down now.
Yeah, well, that anxiety and frustration in work of a wedding won't be over till the wedding's done with, you know?
Yeah, you're right about that, but it's okay. I think I got it. I'm gonna hang in there.
Yeah, very good. I hope everything goes well with the wedding, and I hope things go well with your daughter's groom. Marriage is supposed to last, and so often they seem to have trouble.
And they do. I think it's looking pretty promising for them, and they got lots of support and love. So I think it's going to be all right.
Yeah, and it's sometimes I think the best thing that can happen to a couple, although it didn't work out that way for me, is to not live near your parents.
Amen.
You know what I mean? There's a tendency for a dependency as well as input that's not necessarily wanted.
Yeah, especially nowadays, I think more so. You're right. Anyway, I don't know. They're pretty good kids, and they act like they listen. So that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Well, you know, how old's your daughter?
She'll be 23 on the 21st.
Even at 23, I was reminding myself the other day about something in my 20s. I know what it was. I was telling somebody, or I was writing somebody about when I first got out of the military and I was working, and I was 23. I was working in construction, and I remember thinking I had the world by the tail at 23. But as I look back, I didn't know squat.
Me too. I went in the Navy around 21. I thought I knew everything. Man, was I wrong. Anyway, I appreciate the best wishes, and it's always good talking to you, Paul.
All right, very good. That was Rick, Kilo November 4 Tango Juliet Foxtrot. He's over in Ashland City. Fairly far west from me, 30 to 35 miles. Who else west, please come in?
WY4G.
Hello, Jeff. How are you doing tonight? You sound good.
Yeah, well, better since I got home. I just got home. I had to go do something when I got off work. Made it in for the net, so here I am.
Yeah, very good. Well, you sound like you're doing fine. Today was another hot day out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, tomorrow will be hotter, from what the forecast is correct.
Yeah, I think I heard that about Sunday and Monday. It's going to be, one of them was supposed to be high 90s. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, I think Monday and Tuesday is supposed to be pretty hot as well, and a cold front's supposed to move in on Wednesday. A chance of storms or showers or something. And it's supposed to cool down a little bit, back down to the 80s after that, but that's liable to change, or it's subject to change.
Well, yeah, it is. And quite honestly, it really doesn't matter ultimately if it's 98 or it's 94. Ultimately, it's the distinction is you may sweat a little more, but it's still hot. And hot is hot.
True. I mean, I think you'll sweat just as much 94 as 98, just the humidity level is what really makes a difference.
Oh, well, I've had a long history of just talking about work or hot weather, I sweat.
Yeah, well, around here when the humidity level is up, you sweat doing anything, even brushing your teeth.
Oh yeah, no, I'm familiar. I've lived I've lived here for going on 8 years, and I lived in Florida for 37. So it was a challenge to get from the house on some days in Florida. It was a challenge to get from the house to the car without working up a good sweat on your clean shirt.
All you have to do is just step outside and break out the sweat. So it's just, I guess, it's the way of life down there.
Well, some days it's like walking into a sauna. You're right. Well, anyway, you sound good, Jeff. I'm glad you made it into the net. That was Whiskey Yankee 4 Foxtrot. He's up in Madison. Glad to have you there, Jeff. You were able to work us into your schedule. Who else is west? Please come in.
KM4YRF.
Hey, Michael. How goes it? You didn't make it to the Ham Fest, I bet you.
And no, I was cutting grass in Lebanon today, about 5 or 6 acres worth.
What's it take you, about 20 minutes?
I wish.
Yeah, that sounds like I don't know, 3 hours?
Yeah, it was about 3 hours. Cutting the grass wasn't the hard part. The hard part was weeding.
I thought you were going to tell me you raked it too.
No, I have to draw the line somewhere, Paul.
Yeah, that's has it got a lot of trees or obstructions, or is it weird landscaping?
Yeah, there's lots and lots of trees. But the good thing is that most of it's shady, so it makes cutting it a little easier.
That's why it's bad. That's why they put headlights on mowers, man, so you can do it at night.
I hear that.
It's, well, I'm glad you got. Who you? If you may ask, is that a relative you do that for?
Yeah, it's my mother-in-law. My father-in-law passed away 3 years ago, and I've been going every 2 weeks to cut the grass since he passed. Well, actually, I started doing it before he passed away.
Wow, well, good for you. I'm sure that your mother-in-law appreciates it.
And she feeds me well.
Man, it's a cheap payment for her, and it's a good investment, a good incentive for you.
Absolutely. I don't have anything else except I'm gonna be in Mount Juliet this week, house sitting. But I checked in the west anyway.
Okay. Well, very good. You got a good. Your signal's good either way. So, all right, good to have you in there, Michael. So you're in Mount Juliet today, or you're gonna be?
No, I came this morning. Lisa's in Florida for a week, so I'm keep watching the dogs and cutting the grass.
Well, I got you. Anyway, that was Michael, Kilo Mike 4 Yankee Romeo Foxtrot, normally in Bellshire, but today he's in Mount Juliet. Yeah, we let him in for just, he's on a visa program. All right, this is K4P. Good to have you in there, Michael. Who else is west? Please come. Nobody out west, and down to the south, please come.
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
How long does it take you to say you mow your lawn there, Larry?
About 3 or 4 hours.
Man, I think you know what? I get my ex-wild to do.
That'd be the best thing, but she's working now.
Hey, well, never mind. Yeah, no, mowing the lawn's not that hard. It's not like a lot of work. It just takes a long time.
Yeah, it's trimming and weed eating and all that. It's rough.
Yeah, it is. Well, with that much property, do you have to rake any of it? I mean, mechanically, do you have to rake?
No, I don't do that. I just let it pile up.
I'm just curious. Some people would, I mean, if they're doing a lot of it. I mean, how often do you mow like everybody else, like once a week?
Yeah, or a little bit longer, but that's the problem. Right lately, it's just been too wet.
Yeah, I know. I wait until hopefully the end of the day when it dries out, and then if it rains, then I'm dead.
Yeah, and it's rough. We'll let you get on with it, Paul. KE4SYV.
Yeah, very good, Larry. That was Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. He's in Rockville. Great signal as always. Who else west or south? Please come in.
KN4CCQ.
Hey, better signal than I had you. What was that yesterday? You were out on the road somewhere, Preston.
Yeah, I was in the mobile on, it wasn't too far from here, probably a mile or so.
Yeah, you got to go out and get one of them 96-inch whips like I have.
I wish I had 2 of them. I have dual antennas whipping in the wind.
It's like I say, though, I think it ruins the gas mounts.
Probably so. Sounded good as always there, Paul. I'll jump in there and say hello to you and Annette this evening, and we'll let you get back to it. KN4CCQ.
Yeah, very good, Preston. And that's Preston, Kilo November 4, Charlie Quebec. Great signal. He is also one of the key guys over there in the Rutherford County Aries Simplex net that's on the first Tuesday of the month at, what time is it? 7:30. That's what it is. And if you want to look that up, you can look it up under the Rutherford County Aries. Or you can ask me, or you can ask Preston. Good to have you in there, Preston. And he's in Possum Trot. Who else south of 40, please come in?
KM4VBA.
Hello, Danny. How are you?
I'm tired now listening about all the grass cutting.
Yeah, it's true. If you don't have to cut any, it sounds like a lot of work, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, my first house was like 3 3/4 acres, and I remember cutting grass as a chore and not anything pleasant.
Yeah, well, I grew up in a world it's a pre-World War One house in an industrial town in Niagara Falls, and the lot was 30 feet wide and 100 feet long, and the house sat on 1/3 of it at least. And so even with a push mower, just a regular old Sears Craftsman push mower, probably took me 20 minutes to mow the lawn, but I hated to do it for some reason.
And people talking about the humidity, I'm going to put my choice for first place in the U.S., and that is in Mississippi.
Oh, yeah, I never spent any time there, but Louisiana, I think, rivals it in southern Louisiana.
I think you needed a machete to cut through it on the worst days.
Yeah, it's that humidity is oppressive in those some of those areas of the southern states, especially in the swamps or in the low areas or along the coast. It gets pretty thick. But you're doing all right otherwise? You're feeling pretty good?
Yeah, feeling better than I have in a while, taking it easy and treating my back okay, and that's about all to say. Nothing else. This is KM4 VVA.
Yeah, very good, Dan. That was Dan Kilo Mike 4 Victor Alpha. He is over here just behind near Providence, south of Florida. Who else is south of Florida? Moving on to east then. East of Mount Juliet. Please come in.
WA4ZHI.
Hey, you weren't here last night, were you?
Oh, it was me and come about 8 o'clock, and I forgot it's the last minute. And must have got involved in something else.
Well, I can't say I haven't done exactly the same thing with other nets. I've actually put it, I actually sent out a reminder, for instance, this past, I think it was Tuesday, when there was 2 nets, and I said it, and I realized at 8:30 I missed the second net. I'm like, and then Thursday night I did it again. I missed the net at 8 o'clock for the Wilson thing, and I missed that. Got it wrapped up in something else.
I'll miss your own notes, isn't it?
Well, it's, again, none of this is mandatory. And it's easy to get distracted in today's world. There's so many things you get going with ham radio and the internet and families and arguing with the XYL. It's all these. The nets come last.
Yes, sir. You got all that right.
Otherwise, you're doing okay, James?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Very good. Good to have you in there. That was James, Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India, right here in Mount Juliet. Who else? Where was I? East.
KB4 RSM.
All righty. And I have forgotten your first name. I'm sorry.
It's Glenn. It's all right, Paul.
No, sometimes I try to make that connection with just through sheer memory of the call and the voice, and I haven't gotten to that point yet. Or I try to. Sometimes people use initials, like I do, and I can pick out, like yours had. If your initials were the final 3, I might be able to pick it out that way. I haven't gotten to that point yet. Sorry about that. And you are right here. Let me guess. I'm trying to remember where you are. I forget. Is it over toward Lebanon?
Yeah, it's in that direction from you, right at 109 and 40.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right dead in, almost in the middle, really, between us and me and Lebanon.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think either one of them actually claims me. If I take off out my driveway to the right, I see "Welcome to Mount Juliet." If I take off to the left, I see "Welcome to Lebanon."
Well, the 2 good choices, because I was shocked when I moved to Mount Juliet 7.5 years ago and realized, I had 20,000. I just, it's a small, relatively small city, and Lebanon was above that, 25 or 30,000. And now it looks like Mount Juliet is caught up to and maybe past Lebanon, which is kind of odd to me.
Yeah, it's growing like crazy. I mean, you look at all the places back behind Providence now, and then once you get on right there at heading on 109, heading toward 840, and it's growing like crazy.
Well, all it's going to do as Mount Juliet gets more ridden with developments, it will drive the prices up here, and then it'll further make all the developers move closer to Lebanon, in Lebanon, around Lebanon, north of Lebanon, east of Lebanon, and the south. Lebanon is going to become a nightmare too.
Yeah, no doubt. When I first moved here, there wasn't even the Beckwith exit, and so they put the Beckwith exit in. It's
what I use because it leads right up here to me basically. But yeah, you're right.
Well, anyway, it's just funny because if you follow the real estate market at all, I mean, home prices in Mount Juliet, the average sale price almost doubled in the last 10 years, almost.
Well, good for us.
Well, it is good, but at the same time, it's bad for people moving in. I mean, if somebody would have told me, my first house, now again, it doesn't really equate due to inflation, but my first was a brand new house. It was in Florida, 1,000 square feet on a quarter acre, $20,000, $20,100. And you go, you couldn't buy that house here for less than somewhere $150,000 to $200,000. And that would be hard for a newly married couple to move into and be able to support that kind of house.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you can't hardly get a new car for that now.
No, but I'm saying it's just funny how those real estate prices. I just saw that article in the Nashville paper was talking about how the housing and apartment prices in Nashville are so high that it's driving out single people who are musicians, which I'm not sure I'm going to feel sorry for them. I mean, a lot of people can't afford to live in Nashville, so it's not just musicians. I mean, they're having to live an hour away, to be able to afford to live in this area because, my gosh, even the apartments in Mount Juliet, it's $1,500 for a one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, no doubt. I've got friends in East Nashville, actually where I grew up, and in areas that were just the kind of older homes area have now become the trendy spots, and everybody's going nuts over them.
Yep. And what's funny is the new developments, like I don't know what they call them, skinny houses or something like that, and then they look like row houses, like where an area that I grew up in, really skinny houses with small lots, and they go for over $300,000-$400,000 just because they're near Vanderbilt downtown, etc.
Yeah, we call them the tall and skinnies. But yep, absolutely.
So I don't know. It's you can't win in a growing area because if you have limited income for whatever reason, you're young, you're fixed income like I am, kind of, and you don't get many choices. If you don't have the money, you just got to move out to Hartsville to afford a place.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, very good, Glenn. I'll try to remember that. I usually take a highlighter and I highlight the ones I have to remember. So sorry about that. Anyway, that was Glenn, Kilo Bravo 4 Romeo Sierra Mike. He's over at 109 and we're over there by 40 and 109. Who else? East, please come in.
KE4.
Hey, you sound pretty loud today, Wes. Where are you?
I'm at home. I just switched over to a beam. You were a S1 on the vertical, so you went to S4 on the beam. So I figured I better call you on the better end.
If I didn't know better, I'd say my meter was unplugged because there's no signal, but your audio is really big.
I don't know what to say, but everything in the eastern portion of Wilson County is doing good.
Oh, yeah, it shows no signal at all. It's interesting because your audio is really, really big numbers. All right, well, very good, Wes. Glad to hear you in there. You've been getting kind of out of pocket recently. Haven't heard much from you. When's school start?
It's been since August 1st. And I put the horizontal loops back on the truck, so I've been spending some time on weak signal. But got 6 meters. By the way, we need to promote 6 meter FM frequency. It's not on the net. We just put it out there on the website. I know Kevin and I have been on 52525. So throwing it out there. KE4TWI.
Said 52525 on 6 meters FM, right?
Right. And there's not much activity, meaning like zilch. Unless there's a band opening. I've never, not once, heard randomly local somebody on that frequency.
Okay, and you're so you're doing vertical on that technically.
Yeah, at the HamQuest, I bought little quarter-wave verticals for the truck, so I am QRV 6 meter FM. And of course, I put the key in there so I can do CW. All right, 73 KE4TWI.
Well, if I have to, I'll put my 6 meter up there, up in the up. I've got a 6 meter that thing that I think I told you. I'll have to put that up here maybe tomorrow. K4 PEW, appreciation of being in there, West. That was Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey Indy in Watertown, or near Watertown, I should say, in that vicinity, or in the environs, as they say. Who else? East, please come in.
KM4HQ.
Hey, Stan. You sound good. What's up?
Not a whole lot, Paul, myself.
Not much going on. You know, I mean, it's not like I lead an exciting life over here of like Evel Knievel or something.
Yeah, Roger. Get the surgery approved, but I haven't got it scheduled yet, so I'm not sure when it's going to be.
Well, make sure to let us know. We want to be keeping you in prayers and hopefully support. Maybe we can. Yeah, it's rough. No matter when you have surgery, it's rough because it's not the surgery that's so hard. It's the time afterwards. It's tough.
Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of surgeries. This will make my 7th one, and hopefully it'll be the last one.
Yeah, and they've all been spine related?
No, one previously was lower lumbar area.
Yeah. I never liked surgeries myself. I mean, I had really only, got to think about this. I really only had one surgery in my whole life, you can imagine that, and that was gallbladder, and that was a big deal because it was infected. But yeah, everything else, I'm thrilled that I haven't had anything else done, especially after that accident.
Yeah, Roger that. Well, would you up, Paul? I'm back in that KM4HQ.
Yeah, very good. That's Stan, Kilo Mike 4, Hotel Quebec Echo over in just north of downtown Lebanon. Who else? East, please come in.
Whiskey Delta 4 Bravo, Whiskey Charlie.
Hey, Jeff. Sound good tonight?
On the mobile again.
Ah, okay. You out in the car? Mobile? I'm out in the driveway or something?
No, in my shack here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it gets confusing because I often think of, even though I have 2 mobile radios here in the shack, I tend to think of a mobile. When somebody says mobile, it's in a car. But when they're in my house, I call it my base radio. So I don't know what to call them.
Yeah, I understand. It's not the HT though.
Oh, no. I'd know if it was the HT. I'd still hear you, but it would just be really a lot lighter than what you got now. How is that? Which antenna are you using there again?
A homebrew J-pole.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Is it where? Like in a window or something?
It's in my bedroom or in my shack.
Okay. Well, I hope you're wearing a chin-full hat.
Yeah, there you go. Reflective wave.
All right, very good. By Jeff, that's Jeff Whiskey Delta 4 Bravo Whiskey Charlie, and he normally does the emergency preparedness net on Tuesday nights. The one I mentioned that is at 8:30 on that starts out on that WLYR repeater. What's that frequency again? Because I didn't write it down.
146,835.
Yeah, there you go. 146,835, tone 100. And that's again, that's for the Tuesday night, 8:30, Wilson Emergency Preparedness Night. And Jeff usually does the net for that. Very good job, Jeff. Who else? East, please come in.
K4.
Hey, don't let me forget. I got to come to the Cedars of Lebanon to bring you that wire, unless you want to meet up sooner.
Oh, okay. So you accepted the challenge or yeah. I didn't tell you the whole story last time I talked to you, but I guess you got the rest of the story.
Well, the story is I got handed a wire, and he says make sure to give it to Earl, sir, first opportunity you get.
Okay. Yeah, next weekend be all right with me and everything like that, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, it's fine with me. I'll make it over there Saturday morning, and we'll just. I wish they had a whole bunch of food over there, but I don't think they do they?
Well, they had some over last year. They had some barbecue and had some chips and brownies and I don't know. I guess it all depends on what time you get over there to the chuck wagon. I don't like anything else better to call it.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to get there early then and get some food.
Yeah. I think they even had some daggone earlier in the morning. I think they even had some of those there homemade sausage biscuits, but don't hold me to it. But that was last year. They may do something totally different this year. You know, one year to the next, always improving.
I got you. There's I may have mentioned this on the net before, but over at the dump here in just south of Mount Juliet, over on I can't think of the name of that road again. It's over there going toward Gladeville, south of Mount Juliet. And at the dump, the county dump, they have, it's a regular county dump with dumpsters and for yard trash and all kinds of stuff. But they got the proprietor, the guy who works there, he's got a refrigerator on site, and during certain seasons, and I think it's during deer season, he sells sausage, homemade sausage, deer sausage. And it's the only time I've gone to a county agency, anything, where they're selling sausage.
Yeah, same here. That's the first time I ever heard of that. That he's able to, daggone, get away with that and everything. But some of the rumors I heard about those there dumps or recycle points or collections or whatever like that, it's kind of it's kind of like don't get caught trying to go through the dumpster and get something that somebody else threw away that you could use. But you never know.
Yeah, I think there's signs on there. They call it some no. I forget what it says. But you can't go in and take stuff out. Although I wouldn't mind. Some of the stuff looks like I could use it.
Yeah, I got away with it a time or two, but I always went in there and asked to see and whatnot like that. Let them know that I got a couple dinette chairs that were I got some that were taken apart and some that were still together. So I got about 3 or 4 to make 2. So it all worked out pretty good, and got a nice little daggone 5-speed mountain bike one day. But dude made it clear, to make sure I don't get caught. He didn't care, or they didn't care, whoever was in the little shack. But again, you never know who's watching.
No, that's right. As long as he just turned to blind, as long as he nobody could see him seeing you, Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, you can't be, you're not supposed to be taking stuff out all the time. In fact, in my history, my great grandfather, he lived out, he was a really big mechanical guy back in the early 1900s, farming. He did a lot of, he contract work for other farmers doing baling and cutting, etc. He had a big steam engine, steam powered tractor, etc. And the local town was getting rid of, they were junking their fire engine. And so he said, I want to buy it. And they wouldn't let him buy it. So he went into the junkyard and stole it, and he got arrested.
Oh man, that's something, man. Try to get something legally, and then, well, anyway, I don't know. It's kind of like a catch-22, isn't it?
Well, it seems silly. You think they'd want to sell it at least for scrap, and why have it in the junkyard if it's just going to sit there and rot when you could get money out of it or put it to good use? Well, anyway, Earl, appreciate you being there. I will hook up with you next Saturday for the that's another, of course, the Cedars of Lebanon Ham Fest is next Saturday, so we should make sure to make that event. It's always a nice, fun event, local stuff, local people, local everything. Anyway, that was Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu Earl over in Noreen. Who else east of Monterey?
Yeah, boy, yes, I be.
Hey, Richard, you took a while to show up, didn't you?
Yeah, I've been having a large conversation with my eldest offspring on the phone, so I just got off the phone with him.
Everything all right, I hope?
It's all good in the neighborhood. His wife had surgery one day last week, and she's still a bit sore, but healing, and things are getting a little bit better.
Yeah, well, surgery's never fun.
No, and she's been fighting this battle for, oh my gosh, I don't know how many years, but it's always been a constant source of pain for her. It has to do with her digestive tract and all that kind of thing. But at any rate, she's getting better, and I hope how well she returned, gets before it's all said and done. Hope everybody on this had a good night and a good day, and if anybody went to the fair, I hope they didn't sweat themselves to death. But good to hear you. Thank you for what you do, and I'll get out of the way. Take care. KI4SIB 73.
Yeah, very good. That was Richard KI4SIB, Kilo India 4 Sierra India Bravo, and he's over just west of Lebanon. Who else east? Please come in. Nobody else east. Lay's check-ins in. Late check-ins.
How about this one?
Hey, I'll take that one. How you doing, Ray?
Well, it's KJ4 GMR, KJ4 HNV up here on the north side.
Yeah, I got you. You sound good tonight. Everything good for you?
I wouldn't be here on the net. You know where I'd be at if somebody didn't mess up the game plan.
That's right. Well, you'd be making money doing it, wouldn't you?
No, I lost money, about $700.
Hey, that's not good. Well, losing any money's bad, but $700 is a lot of money.
Well, there's been some long conversations over it. Whole lot of long conversations. But anyway, it's said, done, and over with. I wanted to go there in Huntsville. I had some stuff that I was going to pick up down there, and wanted to carry some rotaries down there and let that boy fix them for me and mail them back to me. But anyway, it didn't work. So, well, what can I say? Cedars 11, and here I come.
Well, that was it. That's that rotor guy that works out of Alabama, right?
Yeah, rotor time.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Well, very good. I'm glad you could be in there, Ray, and appreciate Zoe being there as well. That's KJ4GMR and KJ4HNV in Cottontown. I did get those calls right, didn't I, Ray?
Yeah, sir. You got them right.
Very good. Good to have you in there. Who else? Anybody else late checking?
KD4OEN, Mary.
Hey, Mary. We missed you last night.
Thank you. We were out and about and couldn't get back home in time, but we are here tonight, and we're lollygaggers again because we just got home about 30 minutes ago. But we're glad to be here. I hope you're doing well, Paul, and the gang.
Well, best I can tell, I'm doing fine. You know how that goes. It's hope you're doing better. You finally over all that hospital stuff?
Yes, and I'm so thankful, and I appreciate y'all's thoughts and prayers while I was away at the hospital, and it meant a lot to me, and I just really appreciate it.
Yeah, very good. And I'm sure that Marty's got settled back in, feeling a little more comfortable than living under somebody else's roof, or at least, for a while.
Absolutely. He's so glad to be back, and he's so glad I'm back.
I'm sure of that. And I know that being away from your spouse, especially as long as you two have been married, is no matter what the conditions are, it's like it's a little troubling.
It is. 44 years.
Oh boy. No, 20. I got to think of this out now. 14, 15, 24. Well, if I added up my 3 marriages, I'd be at like 42 years.
There you go. Almost caught up with us.
Yeah, well, it's like my brother said. He's been married for like 27, 28. After I got divorced this past my second marriage, and he says, "How long were you married?" I said, 27. He says, "In some circles, that's considered a success."
You're right. You're right. When we say how long we've been married, people are just like, "What? That's a record. Oh my, you're almost to 50. We don't want to talk about 50 yet."
No, I understand. Well, I'd say it's not really the numbers, and it isn't the numbers that matter. It's really just having a good relationship and being happy and doing the right thing for each other. And it's not that hard. I had somebody else tell me this. He says, really, it's not that big a deal if you love your husband. And it's a woman, obviously, talking.
There you go. That's true. Well, it's good to hear you, and thanks for the good job you always do. And I'll pass the mic over to Marty, and you all have a good weekend. Very good. Good to have you in there, Mary. Marty, how you doing?
84 BQK, and I'm doing fine.
Yeah, feeling your oats now that Mary's back home, right?
Yeah, she's back.
Yeah, that's good. Good to hear. Yeah, the separation. You didn't like the separation, I'll bet.
Not at all.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad everything worked out right for her and you. So good to have you in there. Anything else good for the net tonight?
Well, what'd you say?
I just wondered if there was anything else good for the net tonight. I see you seem to be doing pretty well.
Okay. I've been doing okay. No problem.
Yeah, very good. Well, good deal there, Marty. That was Marty, Kilo Delta 4 Bravo Quebec Kilo, and Mary, Kilo Delta 4 Oscar Echo November. They're both over there in Belshire and holding down the fort over there and doing a good job on that. Appreciate you both being there. Anybody else late checking? Any other chance before we move on to the negative category here? Okay, we're moving on to the lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, SDR donglers, scanner listeners, preppers, and end time survivors. All right, we're going to move on hopefully to the. I think we're going to miss some people tonight, but we've got. Anybody got any? We're going to move on to the buy, sell, swap, or swindle net. Anybody else got anything to sell or they want to buy? All righty, we're going to move on then to the sideband net. If anybody's around for single sideband at 144.240. I don't know how many people are going to be there, but I'm going to do it anyway. So this is, here we are. We finished a little early, but we had 19 check-ins. And so 1, 2, 3, yeah, that's right. And appreciate everybody being there. It's kind of average between 19 and 30 on average. I say 19 and 26 or 27, really. We had 35 a week or 10 days ago, which was an astounding number. But anyway, we'll move on. Nobody, for sure, nobody has anything to buy or sell. And we shall close this part of the net and move over to 144.240 upper sideband. See you there in just a few seconds. K4 PEW. Hang on. It's K4 PEW with the Mount Juliet Simplex net. Is there any way on frequency? Yeah, I had it on my radio setup. It took me so long. Hold on, I got Frank, KB9RKK, and I heard Preston in there. Kilo Charlie. It's Kilo Charlie. I got my numbers all messed up. Yeah, Kilo November, excuse me. 4 CCQ. I got him right now. Let me just start from the east. And the east, Mount Juliet, please come in.
KE4 TWF.
Hey, very good. Good to hear you in there, Wes. Who else east?
KB4 RSM.
Delta Echo Zulu.
All right, got Earl in there also. KB4 DEZ. Anybody else east?
KB4 RSM.
KB4RS. Did you just give me that? Did I not? I guess I didn't acknowledge it, Glenn. Hold on. Kilo up in Northwest Wilson and Kilo Charlie 4 Charlie Kilo November 4 Charlie Quebec Preston down there in Possum Trot. We had West Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India down near Watertown. Earl Kilo Echo 4 Delta Echo Zulu there in Noreen over by Cedars of Lebanon, and KB4 that's Kilo Bravo 4 Romeo Sierra Mike, and that's Glenn just well in the middle ground here between Lebanon and Mount Juliet. And last but not least, Dan Kilo Mike 4 Victor Alpha here in Mount Juliet. That's a pretty good group for not having a notice here. That was what? 7 people on sideband, not too shabby. Unless anybody's got anything for the net or had questions about who they could or couldn't hear, I'm going to go ahead and close this net out. Well, very good. Just you can talk among yourselves or go back to FM or whatever, but I appreciate having you guys here, and you guys have a good night.